We are coming on the air now live with breaking news out of Venezuela, where we are hearing multiple reports of explosions from the capital city of Caracas. NBC News has reporters on the ground in Venezuela who have offered firsthand accounts of these explosions, and we're working to get information as soon as possible. The news marks a major escalation from the United States military after the Trump administration's months-long pressure campaign on Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro's regime, including a series of military strikes on boats in the region that the administration says were carrying drugs. All right, let's go now to NBC News senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez. Gabe, what can you tell us?
Hi there, Corey. Well, this is a rapidly developing story in Caracas and throughout Venezuela. We are still out to the White House and are still hoping to hear from White House officials to try and get any sort of confirmation on what's developing here. But as you mentioned, this would mark a drastic escalation from what we've seen over the past several weeks. President Trump has been threatening strikes inside Venezuela. It was just several days ago that he acknowledged the first strike inside Venezuela. Now, the administration has been saying that its goal is to target narco traffickers inside Venezuela. It accuses the Venezuela's authoritarian leader, Nicolas Maduro, of being a drug trafficker, running a drug cartel, and several months ago upped the reward for any information leading to his arrest to $50 million. However, over the last several weeks, we have seen this escalation of this military buildup in the Caribbean and also airstrikes against alleged drug boats, not just in the Caribbean, but in the Eastern Pacific. Some of the questions we have right now for the White House, did the president order this new round of strikes? We have been seeing pictures of explosions throughout Caracas, smoke rising into the air. And right now we're trying to get more information from government sources. Now, we do not have yet confirmation from the administration that this has been ordered by the president. And we're still, again, trying to find out more information. Now, this does come, Corey, again, after the president acknowledged that first strike inside Venezuela. Even that strike, though, not a whole lot of details on it. He mentioned it just last week in this radio interview that he conducted, and then was pressed on it earlier this week while he was meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He said that strike was at a dock area inside Venezuela, an area that was loading up boats. Now, the administration has been repeatedly saying that its goal here is to prevent drugs from getting to the United States. Also, Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, in a recent interview with Vanity Fair, she did acknowledge privately that the goal here was to make Maduro cry uncle. Now, significantly, over the last several days, and actually in an interview with state-run television in Venezuela that aired on New Year's Day, Maduro said that he was willing to negotiate with the United States to combat drug trafficking, but notably, he did not comment on that strike inside Venezuela. Now, we had also been hearing reports from people in Venezuela, in the northwest part of the country, that there may have been another explosion that they heard there as well. President Trump had acknowledged weeks ago, actually months ago, Corey, that he had ordered covert operations by the CIA inside Venezuela. But up until now, the details of any strikes inside the country have been kept under wraps. This what's underway tonight, nothing like we've seen. And again, we're out to the Pentagon, we're out to the White House, trying to find out confirmation of exactly what's going on here. As far as we know, the explosions were continuing. It's unclear if anybody, may have been injured in any of these explosions. Witnesses there on the ground say that it started just before 2 a.m. Local time in Caracas. And again, we're just trying to get more clarity here, as this is a rapidly developing situation, Corey.
Yeah, Gabe, and I want to keep you on for just a moment because we are now getting a statement from the government of Venezuela. So I'm going to read this live as we're receiving this in. This is coming directly from the government of Venezuela. And they have released a statement now saying, quote, the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela rejects, condemns, and denounces before the international community the extremely serious military aggression perpetrated by the current government of the United States of America against Venezuelan territory and population in the civilian and military areas of the city of Caracas, the capital of the republic, and the states of Miranda, Aragua, and La Guaira. Now, this act constitutes a flagrant violation of the United Nations Charter, especially Articles 1 and 2, which enshrine respect for sovereignty, the legal equality of states, and the prohibition of the use of force. Such aggression threatens international peace and stability, specifically in Latin America and the Caribbean, and places the lives of millions of people at grave risk. So that is a statement that we have now had just coming in from the Venezuelan government. And again, as Gabe Gutierrez for NBC News here mentioned, we have not received confirmation about these reports from the White House or from the Pentagon. We are still waiting to hear any confirmation from our government. We are hearing multiple reports on the ground of multiple explosions happening just before 2 a.m. local time.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.